Oh, really quickly, I wrote down here how to do the intro, I think, in a way that's going to be helpful. So go ahead and read that. It's me, you, me. We'll see if we can do that.
Good morning, guys. What's up? Hello, hello. We're not live on the podcast yet, but we're starting late because our kid woke us up a couple times in the nights.
Oh, did you put my thing on Don't Disturb?
Oh no, I didn't. Good morning, guys.
Can I do it?
I think so. All right.
I don't know. What are you laughing at? Okay, perfect.
There we go.
Awesome.
Okay.
I feel
Hey,
more
guys.
Awesome than an awesome possum.
Wait.
Oh.
Feel more awesome than awesome puzzle. Oh, when I was working out this morning, you guys will think this is cute. I thought it was cute. I was running on the treadmill, and the window of the gym is right here, and this tiny little bunny came walking up and was eating a plant just like right in front of me, and he would bite off the things and then have like a stem. This song goes.
Oh, cute.
It was really funny, but he was like tiny.
Teensy meanie.
All I did was think of
Oops.
our little daughter, who calls them Neenies and loves them.
Okay.
So, what's up, guys? Hope you're having a good Monday morning. Hello. We have an interesting show today.
Check.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, it's not plugged in.
Check.
It's not plugged in right here.
Oh. Whoops.
Okay. Check. Ooh, I'm loud.
Hey, bro.
Check. Are you plugged in?
Yes.
Check.
Good morning. Hello. Check. Day 26. 26. Three-quarter
Okay.
mark.
We ready?
The Ritter mark. Yes, I believe so.
Obviously not a gardener, yeah. That's funny.
He's a weed eater.
A weed whacker?
I felt sad for him though because he's eating like a non-native plant. I was like,
No, he's alright.
but he knows what to do. I
Bunnies
guess.
are the worst. Oh, no, they're not. I mean, they kind of are in a garden, but
yeah.
they're really cute.
Mhm.
We have lots of really cute bunnies around our apartment. They're like teensy.
Okay, in springtime they're babies. Okay, we know what we're gonna say here.
I think we're
New
gonna try.
Intro, so
Just hold it up.
You're gonna read that part. I'm Sesto, blah, 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 and read that whole sentence, and you're gonna say, if we're new here, welcome.
Yeah. Yep. We're just gonna try it. We're
All
gonna
right.
hold that though.
Okay. We need a teleprompter. Friends, I finally get to watch y'all. Been out of habit for a hot while.
Good.
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here too. We're gonna talk about lots of stuff today. We're gonna talk about pornography in a Christian marriage and husbands looking at other women. If you have questions about it, get it in here because we only have 2 questions this morning because we're running a little bit late.
Yeah.
So, okay, you
All
ready?
right. 9 and 8. That's good. Okay. Yep. Ready to go.
Hello and welcome to the Anatomy of Marriage podcast. I'm your host, Melanie Studley.
Good morning. My name is Seth Studley. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and today is day 26 of 100 days of AOM Q&A. And today we're going to talk about porn in a Christian marriage and my husband looks at other women.
If you're new here, welcome. The Anatomy of Marriage podcast is a real show about real marriages that brings you really helpful tips, tools, and advice.
That's right. And if you're new here, we go live on Instagram every single day and also live on Facebook. And we have over 200 other shows in long format explaining our story. We interview other couples, New York Times bestsellers, and we bring it, people. So listen to...
So check those out.
Yeah.
Season 1 of the podcast, all that. And we do, let's see. So we answer your questions. That's what Anatomy 100 Days of Q's and A's is. So today's questions, like we said in the beginning, are...
Are you going to
I can't
jump right
find
into the
it.
question?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. My husband and I are a Christian couple. Porn was a very acceptable tool for him. After marrying him, I asked him to stop, then in parentheses, oops. He openly admits to still using it on occasion, which I appreciate his honesty because he could very well lie to me and live in secrecy. We frequently have sex, but I rarely can get into it because all I can think of is how disappointed he must be looking at me. Plus, he closes his eyes frequently during sex, and that is usually when he is able to orgasm. I need some ideas/tools for me to cope with this. I'm not an ultimatum type of gal. I've communicated my wants and needs for him to stop, but he isn't ready to do that yet. Again, I appreciate his honesty. Until God works his miracles, what do I do in the meantime to stay connected to him without being disgusted, maybe? Disgust?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. Or maybe you're not going to talk about this. You're going to revisit it with him, but you want to be connected, so you're not going to discuss it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so there's a couple things here. One is right immediately. There's a sentence that says, after marrying him, I asked him to stop. Oops. So why do you feel that asking him to do something, asking him to give up something is an oops? Because obviously it negatively is affecting you, and it's negatively affecting him as well. But why is there a timidity around that? Or why do you feel wrong for asking him to stop? That would be like me asking Melanie to stop eating, only chocolate 24/7. I'm like, well, oops, I asked her to stop. I shouldn't have done that, right?
Well, I mean, I think of it like this. Like, if you think of it in any other context, like, I got married to my husband and I asked him to stop dating. Oops.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, that's what.
You have an eyelash on your cheek.
Like, you don't. That is a part of a healthy relationship. You don't continue to look at porn if that's not something you agreed upon in your marriage once you're married. And so it is not like a bad thing that you asked him to stop. I think glad you addressed that, because I think it's important that you don't downplay the importance of what that means in a marriage. Like, again, think of if like, oh, we're getting married, that means you need to stop dating. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Like, no,
Can you stop spending our money, please? Ooh, I shouldn't have asked that, right? So I would like you to think about that for your own personal self. And then I would like to address this, like, he can't have an orgasm if his eyes are open. So I'm thinking of like, okay, maybe this has been like a really habitual use and has like, you're used to it, because in our brains we create neural pathways, good ones or bad ones, and sometimes there's really you can really set pathways like, oh, I need this in order to do this, and that is something. That would borderline addiction, right?
Well, yeah, but hold on. Don't assume that because he's closing his eyes, he's thinking about something
Well, I'm
else.
not. That's just what she said.
Mm-hmm. Well,
You're
I mean,
saying
it
that's
sounds
a-
like
that's
you
a
are
possible-
saying that is what is going on too. And I'm like, I close my eyes
Right.
and I'd be like, don't put meaning into something that might not have anything. So
Okay.
that I'm currently reading the audiobook, The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. And you are giving an F about something that might have no F's to give in it, if
Right.
that makes sense. Read the book. It's
Right.
amazing. But
So here's an interesting thing that I want to talk about. I think that because you have a really great attitude of like, okay, do this, kind of get through it, leave all the bullcrap behind. And me as a therapist, I think of the other things. I'm like, well, wait a minute, that approach might be too kind of rigid and
let's
just
carry all of our bullcrap for a while. Just hold on to it for a bit. Let's just look at all the bullcrap and talk about all the bullcrap. No, just
I told you
freaking let go.
I told you yesterday that you've been on fire all day because you started reading that book, and
That book has like literally, what is the word? It has validated my entire existence to read The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F.
So now,
and I'm not even exaggerating.
So now you're going to even be more.
I'm not going to
confident.
give my F's to things that don't deserve my F's,
Okay,
and
that's good.
I've been trying to not do that, and there's a lot that I could say, but
Yeah.
I do want to say, like, there's so much assumption in that, just the statement, like, he closes his eyes when he orgasms. So do I. That doesn't mean I'm looking at something inappropriate or thinking about something inappropriate, but let's stay focused on the question.
Yes.
So it says, I need some ideas and tools for me to cope with this. I'm not an ultimatum type of person. I want him to stop, blah, blah, blah. But I do, so one of the things that the next question deals with kind of the same topic as well, sort of. And so one of the things I want to suggest, a tip, a tool, or whatever, is you go listen to Sexy Marriage Radio podcast. It's with Dr. Corey Allen. He's been on our show before. And I even found an episode that I think is probably one that would be a good one. It's episode 415. It's called Is Sex Addiction Real? Number 415. And you can also just Google like Sexy Marriage Radio and then a topic that is relevant and you will be able to find it. So like you could type in Sexy Marriage Radio pornography and it will. Dr. Corey Allen is amazing. Every episode he's ever done is amazing. Check out his work if you're dealing with this kind of thing because he knows what he's talking about. But I just wanted to bring that up because I think that that's really important. But I don't think that pornography is healthy in a marriage when people don't want it in a marriage. Some people want pornography in their marriage and they both agree that it's great. that's a type of marriage. I don't care what you do you.
Mm-hmm.
But if that's not what is in your marriage and beneficial for you both, then yes, you can tell him, please stop doing this, and then let's figure out a way to get a counselor. Because one of the things that we talked with Dr. Corey Allen the other day about is that any sex issue, whether that's addiction, pornography, whatever, it has, for men, it typically has what is the word? The cause has nothing to do with sex itself. So looking at pornography all the time has nothing to do with, I want to look at pornography all the time. And it almost always has something to do with, I have not dealt with these other things way back here in my life. And pornography is the one thing that I know is certain. No one's going to reject me in pornography. I'm always going to orgasm. It's, like these kinds of things are what, it's like icing. Like it's candy. It's not good.
It's also a coping mechanism and a way to check out.
For sure.
Right.
And it's not conflict. There's never conflict in it, right? Like the pornography is not going to tell you to load the dishes. So it's like a safe place, air quotes. I'm doing air quotes there.
Right.
So, but yeah, what were you going to say?
I'm just thinking of now, the question, is sex addiction real? I haven't listened to that episode, and it would be really interesting. So I believe that you're not, so I'm talking to the female partner, the wife in this, you're not okay for wanting to talk about this. It is really something that needs to be talked about. Obviously, it's affecting you, and it's like planting seeds. Oh, his eyes are closed. What is he thinking? What's going on? So I think that you guys just need to talk about it. Maybe there is an addiction problem. Maybe that has been created as a really strong form of coping or checking out or stress management.
It's just like smoking.
For him.
I mean, it's not any different than like smoking or vaping. It's just a thing that gives you a sensation, that's chewing tobacco. What are other things people do? Cocaine? I don't know. What do people do? I can't think of it.
Anything. We've talked about it before.
Wine.
Facebook, checking email, wine, beer,
watching TV.
Obsessively
constantly
working out.
Mm-hmm.
It's anything. It's doing things that get your mind off of I'm going to go back to a Kyle Cease book. Ooh. How do I screw this up?
I hope I screw this up.
I hope I screw this up. Anything that gets away from your highest and truest calling, right? Like me checking email all the time. It's like, it's like, well, wait a minute. I'm spending all my time doing that, so I don't have to work and find my highest and truest calling, right? Yeah.
Well, it's like instead of being a good parent, which you want to be a good parent, you just say, I'd rather binge like all of Game of Thrones or something. And I don't know what that is even, but like,
it's a show.
Well, I have no idea about it at all. But so like, that's a way that you just numb your mind.
Right.
So is pornography. Same exact thing. There's nothing different about it other than it involves people having sex. Which I think Game of Thrones has people having sex in it. Again, I have no idea, so I could be way off.
Yeah.
You should watch Lord of the Rings instead. There's no sex in that. That's a Melanie approved way to numb your mind.
Okay.
But I do say, listen to Sexy Marriage Radio. Go just binge a bunch of Sexy Marriage Radio episodes because it is awesome content. But no, you're not out of line for asking your partner to stop. And I don't know, like, what does it say? It says, I can never get into it. When we have sex, I can rarely get into it because all I can think of is how disappointed he must be in looking at me. So that thought right there is not correct. Like,
talk to me about that.
I'm gonna be real honest here, and this is breaking news.
I know what you're gonna say.
You don't know what I'm gonna say.
Oh, okay.
You don't know what to say. I used to look at pornography all the time. Did you think I was gonna say that?
Well, you told me that. I know that.
Is that what you thought I was gonna say?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I thought you were gonna say something much more personal. I was like,
that's pretty personal.
Well,
right?
Yeah.
But so when I am with Seth, there is not a time when I'm like, remember all those old pornography days? Like, I'm with Seth, and that's
right.
what I'm. That's the power of presence in that moment. And we have talked about this, so it's not surprising to you. So I would say you not being able to get into sex because of your partner's pornography use. There again, this is not about how do I get into sex.
Mm-hmm.
This is how do I undo something that's happened in our past, some mind thing that I'm stuck on, some mindset, and then that will bring you the answer of how to get into sex. It's not.
This isn't in the past though.
I know,
active.
but it's like looking at the cut and being like, how do I get it to stop bleeding? But you are cutting yourself. I'm slicing myself and then going, oh, it's bleeding everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then you do it again and go, that.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that she's doing this to herself. It's just we need to go one ring beyond where what we think the actual problem is not the actual problem. We got to go one ring out.
Right.
It's the zone of proximal development, right? Scooch one layer out and explore what's beyond that layer, and then you can find the thing that's going to stop this from happening. And both partners, from both partners' perspectives, your husband has to do the same thing too.
And there needs to be some obvious healing around that too. I think this is a good show because I always want to take the therapist point of view. That's my training. And then and this is your personality anyway, you're like, okay, stop this, let's do this. And it's like, okay, anything that happened previous to stop this, let's do this is almost irrelevant to you, and you don't let it shackle you down.
Yeah, there's no,
right?
I mean, I could talk about that forever, but let's not.
Okay.
All
right.
But yes, you can do this. Also, see a therapist. Go see a counselor.
Yes.
Do the work together
I would definitely
with somebody.
See a therapist. Okay. Let's see. My husband is addicted to checking out girls online, and when we are outside, malls, restaurants, anywhere, he's always doing it. He will check out women from head to toe and follow them with his eyes. He checks out photos of random girls online. I know it's human nature to notice an attractive male or female, but putting an effort to search them on social media doesn't seem okay, because it's not okay. Last year, after I gave birth, I checked his Facebook history and found sultry and suggested videos of girls. I asked him if he's doing it again. He said no, but when I showed him the screenshots, he admitted it. I feel betrayed, and sometimes I want to leave him, but we have a son, and he's telling me that it never becomes physical. What do I do? Okay, this is a big one because you just had a son, so there's some postpartum stuff going on, and I think that this question is related to a lot of the underlying things in the previous question. And addicted to checking out girls online, checking out other girls that the wife can obviously see that he's checking out. So does he have any concept of how that may make you feel, or is it okay? Like, we live in a culture that says that's okay, like, oh yeah, just, that's what we do, huh? Kind of thing. And I think he's bought into that, and it's very normal for him right now. Does he know that you don't like it? What does he say when you guys talk back and forth? Like, hey, don't do that. This isn't okay. It makes me feel this way. Even if you use the clearing structure, when you do this, it reminds me of this, and we just had a baby, and like, what are you thinking? Kind of thing.
There is maybe an ounce or of like a thing to consider is that he actually might not know that he is doing it. Like, it might be so entrenched in who he is that he has no clue. The thing I would ask is, when you talk to him about it, does he show any regret or any remorse? Does he give a crap that it bothers you? It doesn't. I mean, I want to say two things very strongly. This is not acceptable behavior. Like, you said, I feel betrayed. No, you are betrayed. You don't feel it. You are that. And your husband's doing that to you. That is not me saying, leave him, he's a dumb, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying that. So please don't hear me saying that. But you are being betrayed. Your trust is being completely manipulated. He is not being honest to you. He is lying to you. So name it for what it is. Don't, tiptoe around it, because it isn't okay. I would also really suggest, listen to Dr. Corey Allen, Sexy Marriage Radio, all the episodes that you can find on this kind of thing. Go see a therapist together. Go see a therapist together. This is not, I would say, this is not healthy and or normal behavior from a person in a marriage. And when I say normal, I mean, like, it really could be that he has no idea that he's doing it, and he doesn't see that it is Creepville, USA. Like, he actually might have a total blind spot for that. He's not, maybe he's not trying to be a total, weirdo, gross face, but he might just have an absolute real blind spot. And so it's sort of about, are you willing to open up the awareness to that? Is he remorseful? Does he have regrets when he does it?
She said that they've talked about it before, and he thinks it's, let's see, and wasn't truthful about it. So there is some like, oh, I have a problem with this.
But does he care? Does he care that he lied to you?
Yeah.
That matters a lot. And I'm going to tell you, you got a kid, that matters way more now.
So let's put the situation differently. It says, my husband is addicted to spending money that we don't have. He goes to the store and buys things on sale and then tries to justify it was a sale, right? I've told him that this is not cool and we don't have a lot of money and we just had a kid and funds are tight, but he still does it, right? How does that reframe put it into perspective? Like, oh, geez, he's not respecting that we don't have money. He's not respecting that I'm worried about not having money. He doesn't put two and two together. Like, if we don't have the money, we shouldn't spend it. We can't. This is detrimental. This is damaging to our finances. It's not going to set us up for the good in the future. Something needs to be done about this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does that help?
Yeah.
You think,
Well,
if we
and
put it in different perspectives?
Yeah, and I think that's a great analogy, because just like we have physical money, which has a limitation, I only have so much money to spend. And if your husband is spending money on garbage, trash, trinkets at like Walmart, it's the same thing relationally and emotionally. You and your partner have only so much like relational currency to spend with one another, and he is spending an enormous portion of your relational dollars on everybody else, and his bank account is empty, and so is yours, because his relational bank account, because he's not spending it on you. So I think this is like the way you worded it is like it's not that big of a deal, kind of. And it is a big deal. And I'm not saying at all like leave him, do whatever, like everything. I'm not saying that. This is your husband.
You're just saying that it's a big deal and it is serious. And like I just read the last line, and sometimes I want to leave him, but we have a son and he's telling me that he never becomes physical. You guys need to go see a counselor in this. Obviously, obviously this isn't okay. Otherwise, you wouldn't have written about it. You wouldn't take the time. And you're clearly thinking about it, and you're not going to stop thinking about it until things are out in the open, until you see a counselor, until you get, like the first question, all these layers, these outer rings of stuff. Okay, why is this happening? Is it a checkout thing? I mean, not checking out other women, but a mental
like
checkout.
I'm numbing.
Is it a coping thing? You know, what in the relationship? Again, Dr. Corey Allen says what happens in the bedroom is...
The way we do sex is the way we do life.
Yes, which basically means how we communicate, how we are physically, how we share our needs and wants and desires in the bedroom is how you do it outside of the bedroom. There are so many parallels between that. And you're saying, okay, this is how we do life outside the bedroom. I know that the sex life isn't so good either, because you guys are preoccupied. He's preoccupied mentally. You're preoccupied with what he's preoccupied about. And how can you come together in a good way? And you can't.
Yeah. There's a lot in these two questions, like a husband looking at pornography and then a husband looking at other women. Like, I don't know. Sometimes people don't like the fact that healthy things have boundaries, right? You can't weigh 400 pounds and think that you have healthy boundaries around food. You don't, right? Healthy things have boundaries. You can't drive a car 200 miles an hour on a freeway and think you won't crash, or like crash someone else's car. Healthy things have boundaries, speed limits, calorie intake, all of these things, sugar intake. Nope, go out, guys. Go really quickly. You're going to get in trouble if you don't go fast. We'll hug you in a moment. But healthy things have boundaries, and boundaries should, in a healthy mind, relate to, this is good for me, I'm thankful for this boundary. But oftentimes in our culture, someone said boys will be boys attitude. Like, that's not a healthy boundary. That's a boundary of, what's the word? That's like a loophole. You're trying to create a loophole because you don't want to actually have a healthy boundary around a thing.
Right.
And I think that people underestimate how much better life is when they are healthy, because they don't know it. If you don't know how to be healthy, you don't know how amazing it is to be healthy. I mean, you just think, oh, it's hard work, I don't want to do that, I don't want to give up my crap that I eat or the porn I look at. You have no idea how amazing your life can be when you stop doing those things and you have healthy boundaries. So I don't know, that's something I just want to say.
That's a really interesting thing. And sometimes we talk about addiction language and everything, and I've shared that sometimes I drink too much, and it's really interesting. And like, oh well, okay, go cold turkey and never drink again. Then you think about like all the social aspects and the fun and the relaxing part. But if it's like all you're doing is trying to have fun, and all you're doing is trying to be social and party all the time, then that's not balanced, right? So there actually is something else on the other side, and I found this to be true with like working, like just running. Like I used to think, I have to run 3 miles every day and work out, but no, I just like have a more balanced approach and like run 3 miles every day, which feels great, and drink a ton of water, and I'm getting my health goals in shape. You know what I'm saying? So even with balance, and then even balance around food, and this is really funny, and it's a Buddhist saying. And it says, what we resist will persist. So the thing that we're trying to focus on so hard, like, I got to lose weight, I got to, save $10,000, I got to do all this stuff. And just okay, I'm going to step back from that and be good, do good work hard, keep things in balance, not obsess over things. They come to you freely. And this happened overnight. So I lost 2 pounds yesterday and ate ice cream and also ate rice, so carb stuff, right? And I lost 2 pounds. But before then, I'd like weighed the same every single day, trying to eat protein only, no carbs, no sugar, no nothing. And I was holding on to it. And Kyle Cease talks about it again. He's like, I just was myself and gave myself some grace, and I lost like 10 pounds. And it was much more easy than going to the gym every day, doing all this stuff, right?
Yeah. So, there has to be a mindset shift around these ideas. And I'm going to tell you the 2 books I think are the most impactful for that. One is I Hope I Screwed This Up by Kyle Cease. And then I think it's Mel Robbins' either Take Control of Your Life or the 5-Second Rule. Like both of those I think are really good for this. But you have to have the mind shift that I mean, even just in the like pornography issue, that your husband looking at other women, like boundaries are there for a reason. And until you can shift your mindset to understand, it's not like, oh, I have to give up the stuff I love. No, it's I am actively choosing to do the thing that I know is wise. I'm going to feel better. Everything's going to be better when I do this thing. Also, like drinking water, exercising, eating healthy, not looking at porn, not watching TV for 5 hours a day. Like, change your mindset around it. Don't feel like, oh, woe is me, I can't watch Game of Thrones for a year straight. Like, do something productive with your life and get up, and you will be thankful.
Right.
And no, you're not going to like it because you've never done it before. But
right.
Don't sit and complain about it. Like, that's what drives me insane is that people, like you were saying in the beginning.
Oh, you're not fussing at these people.
No.
Right.
I'm fussing at everyone. I'm saying, like, people want to sit there and hold their crap in their hands and go, oh, but look at this crap and that crap and this crap's from when I was a kid, but look at it. And it's like, I don't care. Set it down and do new stuff.
Right.
Like, you're never going to know how amazing it is to lose the weight if you never lose the weight.
Right.
And then you can complain about how you're fat for the rest of your life.
Okay.
Or you complain about how your husband's looking at porn for the rest of your life because you didn't want to tell him no. Like, it's hard to do. And no, I'm not fussing at y'all.
I'm trying to get a word in, which I love what you're saying. However, as a therapist, we have to be sensitive to real past trauma and ongoing trauma and stuff, and huge hurts that be like, oh my gosh, that was deep, and I have all this baggage that I have to work through. So you're not making fun. You're not being like, oh,
no,
right? It's having a growth mindset around that, and read the 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. Oh, you know what? And also go to audibletrial.com/anatomy of marriage to get a free audiobook on us.
Get the book for free.
Get any book for free by that measure. And the 5-Second Rule is like, oh, I'm sitting here, I'm sad. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I am sad, but now I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And it shifts your brain, and it's so amazing. And there was.
Well, and hold on. Never once did I say ignore your past. Never once did I say don't address the things that caused all of this. That's exactly what you need to do. Like, you need to address all of the things in the past. Why do I want to look at porn all the time or eat ice cream all the time or numb out? What am I numbing from?
Right.
Discover what you're numbing from and then change the patterns around it. And I think it's just so annoying when people don't want to grow and then they complain about not growing and they don't know what to do about it. It's called growth. Go see a therapist. Do a thing. Make the step. Make the call. Find a therapist online. Like, go to your church, talk to the counselor. Like, I don't know. I get fired up about it, but people wrote a bunch of things.
And the only way out is through. Like, you have to address that stuff. We did a show about it that Freud says, things in the past, if not addressed, they always come up in some other form. So all this checking out, Facebook, drinking too much, watching Game of Thrones all day, pornography, gossiping, all this stuff is. It could be, I could say I would be 95% sure that it has a root cause of things that we haven't.
Oh, it's 100% sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's
that
like,
you haven't
let's
processed.
address all this stuff, and then sure, you can get on Facebook, you can watch Game of Thrones, you can do things in balance, right?
Yeah, and you know what's even more amazing? You can want to do something and still not freaking do it. You can want to stare at some chick on the street and not do it.
Right.
You can tell yourself, this will not be beneficial to me. Right. And then you can stop yourself from doing it. And that's amazing.
Okay, you can also, this is what I was going to say, you can also work and ask yourself, what is my best and highest calling?
Yes.
And that's kind of meta or whatever, but what is the best thing that I can do and what is the highest thing I can do? So, you know what? I really want to go to the bakery literally 4 times a week and eat 2 things.
4 times a day.
I know exactly what I would get.
Yeah.
Every single time, right?
Is that your highest calling, though?
No, it's not. It is not my highest calling. Now, in balance, once a week, A-okay. That's not going to ruin the diet. That's not going to break the bank. That's not going to do anything except bring me joy. And I put off that joy for 6 days and then went and had a cheat day at the bakery, right? So what is your best and highest calling in everything? How you talk to your spouse. If you look at whatever, if you look at a girl or a guy, or if you look at pornography, is this my best and highest calling? And sometimes you can really easily kid yourself and go, well, just whatever, and you justify it. And the minute that you try to justify a behavior is the exact answer. Light bulb, bright as the sun. Not your highest calling. Go this way.
Yeah.
Go this way.
Yeah, the minute that you have to say, well, this is just me time. Like the minute it's selfish, and that is
the
like...
minute, and I think Kyle Steve talks about the minute that you try to justify something is not. Like red alarm, boom. Don't.
Yeah.
And it's not like don't do it like we're being all legalistic or whatever. Oh, if you do that, you're a scumbag. No, we're definitely not saying that.
It's not going to get you the life that you actually want.
Right.
And it is hard when like you're the wife saying this, my husband is doing this, but you need to have these I would encourage you to have these conversations together and talk about what is it that we want. Have expectations and goals for your marriage. That will set you both on the plane for your highest calling. But honestly, it can't assure that your partner's going to give a crap or do anything about it.
Yes. So, and the thing is, how can you live to your best and highest calling? Guess what? When you start doing that, you'll start opening doors and creating different neural pathways and all this stuff, and they may not be living to their best and highest calling. But I don't want to say that it doesn't matter, because I know that it makes it much more difficult. Like my work, my attempt to do best and highest calling has been made easier because Melanie is trying to do it too. If you were just a jerk, it's like, but you know what? When we went through all the crap and you were having a hard time on stuff, I don't know, and this is before we read any of these books, I was like, I said, I don't deserve anything from her. I am doing this for me, and then we'll see where that goes, kind of thing, because you were anything but supportive. You were
I was trying to tear you down.
To tear it down, right?
I wanted you to fail, and I wanted it to be your fault.
Right.
That you would leave me. So
exactly.
If y'all haven't heard season 1, go listen to season 1. That's what that story is all about, and it's crazy.
It's a good one.
Anyway.
So, okay, we are at 28 minutes. Oh, big time. Okay. Remember, we talked about 1 million books this time. Go to audibletrial.com/anatomy of marriage to get a free audiobook. It helps us out. We do get a little bit of money from that, but even if we didn't get money, we would promote it because we live in audiobook land. So thanks for the comments. And
we forgot to read a review of the day. That's what we forgot to do. This is hilarious. It's 5 stars from Godside JCC. Don't know what that is. This show is super dope. I love how real this show is. It's not some passive, happy-go-lucky podcast that is afraid to attack the tough issues. No topic is off limits, and they speak from personal experiences, not just a book. It helps me to concentrate on my actions and thoughts within a marital context so I can better myself, and as a result, my marriage. Thank you for being open. Thank you all for opening your life story for our benefit. You are welcome. Thank you so much for the 5-star review. I think it's awesome, and I like the title. The show is super dope.
Yeah, it is. Super dope.
If you like our show and it's beneficial to you, please rate and review it on iTunes. It's very helpful. It makes us feel amazing. For one, we hit 700 reviews, which is so awesome. Yeah. But we will read your review on the show. And so that's exciting and fun. So please, please, please go to iTunes and rate and review the show. Share the podcast with your friends.
All right. Anything else?
No. Have an amazing day. Y'all are rock stars. Zone of Proximal Development. Grow.
Grow and go.
Read an audiobook. We love you.
All right. Love you guys. Bye.
Love you. I almost said amen. All right, talk to you later. Bye. Turn it off.
Amen. Turn it off.
We love you. Ew, what is that? This is Ellie's hair. It was in my pocket. Oh, that makes me so sad.
Ellie's our dog that died, and she was great. We talked about it last night, too. Well, it's a good thing. It's like Ellie shows up when she needs to show up, which is good. So, amen. Love you guys. Bye.
Have a good one.